The aftermath of Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. By now, the drama has mostly settled as developers slowly fix the game and promise to add future features. But how do fans feel about the game overall? Because it launched in a terrible state with broken online and tons of glitches. And while some issues have been fixed, others remain and players are worried if it will ever get fixed. Covering the drama around this game has been crazy, I won't lie to you. But I think it's time to finally end this series by asking fans how they feel. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. How do you feel about the Legacy Collection? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Did you never buy it? Let me know any and all of your thoughts. Then leave a like down there if you want the game to get fixed. I know I do, since you guys forced me to buy the most expensive version that still hasn't arrived, by the way. Honestly, the only reason I'm not refunding it is to put Goro in the background for you guys. Otherwise, I will get my money back, just being honest. But yeah, let's try and get 2,000 likes on today's video so the game actually works fine when it gets here. Not just for me, but everyone else that ordered a physical copy. They still don't have the game yet. Alright, for anyone new, I'm trying to reach 500,000 subscribers before 2026, so let's do it together. If you enjoyed today's video, smash that red button and ring that bell so you never miss any future videos. Alright everyone, without any further ado, let's begin. Okay, the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. How do fans feel about it now, the aftermath of the whole situation? I've done some digging online all around social media and gathered some consensus about this game and its collection. People disagree on some topics, but one thing everyone agrees on is the price. About 2 weeks after release, most agree the game is not worth $50. It's a collection of old games, many of which you don't actually want to play, like for example the Game Boy versions or the mobile Deadly Alliance, right? Most people don't actually enjoy these games, and yet you're still paying for them. That's why it's worth $50, because it includes so many games, but realistically, you're only gonna play a handful, right? Which makes it seem like these extra games and extra versions were mainly included to bump up the price of this game, rather than increasing its overall quality. However, with that said, the game has tons of behind-the-scenes stuff, which is really cool. There's some appeal there. Many of this has never been seen before, but at this point, people have uploaded all of it to YouTube, so you can watch for free, which unfortunately is another reason why $50 is too high for the Legacy Collection. It's just not worth it. So for everyone watching, I would recommend just waiting for this collection to go on sale, especially after the bugs and glitches are fixed. Because as of right now, only PC is working correctly. It's had the input delay fixed, along with other bugs and glitches that were bothering people, but console versions are still busted in many ways. So yeah, just saying, if I was you, I would wait until it's on sale and then buy it. With all that said, it's not all negative opinions online, with plenty of fans claiming to love this game and the collection, especially if they play on PC, because the input delay has been fixed and the online works a bit better too. So yeah, it's good to know that some people are satisfied with their purchase and actually enjoyed the Legacy Collection. They're happy these classic games are available on modern consoles and they can play them all in one easy location. In other words, all their favorite Mortal Kombat games from the 90s are back in this one spot, and they love that, which is good. Although real gamers like you and me know that these games were already free with emulators, right? Didn't cost you a thing. Which is why the main appeal for the Legacy Collection was the online, getting to play with your buddies around the world, which you can't do. Yup, as of right now, even with all the updates and patches, you can still only play with random people at this point and not your buddies. There's no online lobbies yet. They are coming though, which is worth mentioning. Digital Eclipse has said these lobbies are coming. They're just not here yet. Then again, even when lobbies do get here, there's never gonna be crossplay, so I can't play with my buddies on different consoles, and that still has me salty. I bought this game on PlayStation, which means my buddies on PC and Xbox can just never play with me in 2025. That's got me a bit salty, not gonna lie. In fact, I think no crossplay and the terrible online features is a main reason why many have refunded this game. And when I say many, I really do mean that. According to my own polls, about 25% of people have refunded this game, which is wild. Now, of course, that's just my audience, but my channel is mostly Mortal Kombat. I would say like 99% Mortal Kombat stuff, which means my audience is mostly Mortal Kombat fans too. So if 25% of them have refunded the game, that's a big reflection on the community as a whole. I would not be shocked if 20% or 15% of customers worldwide refunded their purchase on this game. Because don't forget, even Sony was offering refunds for this game, which they almost never offer refunds for anything ever. Well, in the gaming space I mean, right? On PC and Steam, it's way easier to get refunds. On Sony, it's nearly impossible. Once you buy a game and download it, that's it, no refunds possible. But for Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, you could actually get a refund, which shows that Sony's aware how bad the product was on release. But alright, more positive stuff, right? Don't want to be too negative in today's video. It's an aftermath, not a funeral. We're not trying to bury this game. And many online have said they love playing this game in single player, right? Or on the couch with their buddies. They enjoy the offline version of the game and don't really care that the online's not working. Yep, believe it or not, there's plenty of people saying this, and some are even getting mad at me for not waiting until the update and patches happen, which would mean they're okay with the game being unfinished as long as it gets complete at some point in the future, which to me personally, not gonna lie, that's a weird perspective because you paid full price up front, right? All of your money is gone immediately, but you don't get the full game immediately. That's never okay to me. But luckily for Digital Eclipse, many of their customers are boomers, especially for the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, right? They're 90s kids, actually 80s kids more likely, which is likely why they don't mind online features lacking or not even being there at all. They mainly want to play this game offline and they're enjoying that, right? It feels like the 90s arcade era all over again. Or at least that's what I'm reading online. So once again, it's not all negative. Some people really do love this game, especially if they're 80s kids. However, it's not all sunshine and rainbows for offline players because some of them are still upset, mainly at the AI for being really difficult. Even if you lower the difficulty to easy, it still becomes difficult after the first couple of matches. Yep, that's right. Or in other words, you win the first 2 matches playing your character, but then after that it gets ridiculously difficult and you might as well be playing on hard, which of course has many gamers upset even if they don't play online, right? Even if they're offline warriors who prefer that single player content, they're still upset because the AI cheats. It reads your inputs instantly and then does a faster move than you to win every single time, and as the player you must work around that by playing a very specific way that's not really fun and also removes the unique fun of playing each character, right? So for a fast example, if you pick Reptile and try doing Force Ball, the AI jumps over it and kicks you immediately on reaction, which means as the Reptile player that move's just off the table, you can't even use it. It would work fine against humans, keep in mind, just not the computer because they read your input instantly and then counter it. So once you reach match number 4 or something like that, it's all jump kicks and just playing really cheesy and gimmicky to beat the AI, instead of getting to actually enjoy what makes your character unique, right? If you pick Jax, you want to use all of his moves, but you can't when the AI gets hard and cheap, which like I just mentioned, happens quickly. Around match number 3 or 4, you're already fighting hard AI. And that's because Mortal Kombat played this way back in the 90s, especially Mortal Kombat 2. That game was infamous for how cheap it was. After the first couple of wins, the AI started cheating, reading your inputs, and becoming really difficult because the arcade wanted your quarters, right? That makes sense. They want you to put in more quarters and therefore the AI becomes difficult. That way you keep losing and keep putting in more money. That was the idea, which might sound really scammy, and honestly, in hindsight it was, but that's what arcade games did back then. They were meant to be difficult by design to make money. So now fast forward to the modern day, right? 2025, with the Legacy Collection, and the AI still plays that way. It's almost identical to how it was in the arcades, which has players upset and about ready to stop playing. Honestly, I've read that a lot online. Because believe it or not, and this might be a shock for you, alright, incoming nuclear hot take, when the games include a difficulty setting and you change it to easy, but the game is still hard, people get upset about that. Yeah, I know, once again, I'm sorry if that freaked you out, okay, nuclear hot take, but when you set the game to easy, people expect the game to be easy. And with this game in its current state, that's not actually possible. The difficulty barely changes at all when you pick easy versus hard. It's almost all the same. So yeah, right now many players are still upset with the game overall, even if they're only playing offline single player stuff, because the AI is so cheap and the difficulty change doesn't do anything. So if any developers working on this game are watching right now, and I bet at least one of you is, I recommend fixing that issue right now. Yes, it might be true to the old games to keep the AI so cheap and difficult, but I would argue your fans hate that right now, right? People who bought your game, the consumers, are not happy with how it functions right now. And honestly, even back in the 90s, people complained about that. They never enjoyed how cheap the AI was. It was never fun even back then. So yeah, if I was you, Digital Eclipse, I would make the difficulty actually change based on what you pick. Alright everyone, that's the general opinion online for the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Real quick, I want to end the video with my personal perspective. Like many online, I do agree the game is too expensive. $50 for an arcade collection is too pricey, especially when the online barely even functions. It should have been $30, honestly. That feels more fair, because while this collection does does include a lot of games and many versions of those games, I would argue that only a handful are actually getting played, and you can't justify raising the cost just because you included more games that most people realistically don't want to play anyway. Then on top of that, the online's terrible, right? The features are not good. No crossplay even in the future is a real bummer, I'm not gonna lie, I hate that. Also, no Mortal Kombat Gold. I should have mentioned that earlier. Many are upset that Mortal Kombat Gold is not included in this collection. We have MK4, but not Mortal Kombat Gold, which, believe it or not, is the main game people wanted in this collection, and turns out it's just not there. Now, the developers never lied about that fact, to be fair. They never said that MK Gold was going to be included, but I'm just saying that fans wanted it. But there is one thing I really do like about the Legacy Collection: Special Forces and Mythology Sub-Zero. These games are almost impossible to buy in the modern day. That's right, unless you pirate or emulate, it's nearly impossible to get your hands on these games, and now they're actually available and fully playable. Also, they don't have online and never did, so that's not an issue. These games have always been strictly single player, so they're not impacted by the terrible online that every other game is plagued with right now in this collection. No, they're pretty much exactly how they should be, which I definitely think is cool. Even though Special Forces can get irritating, and so can Mythology Sub-Zero, I think they have their own unique charm to them. And now, thanks to this collection, they're preserved pretty much forever if you bought digital. So that's also really cool. Once again, I don't think the collection is worth $50. I think $40 or honestly $30 would be way more appropriate. And that's United States dollars for the record, because that's where I live. Other countries use dollars, I think, and hike it up a bit. Regardless, yeah, that's my final thoughts on the Legacy Collection. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below. It helps the channel out a ton. Let's try and get today's video to 2,000 likes. Then finally, for anyone new, finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future content. I'm trying to reach 500,000 subscribers before 2026. Let's do it together. Make sure to come back next time, everyone, and as always, stay underdogs.